Welcome. It's Merlot Monday.
Well, how come we didn't get the memo?
I'm sorry. I should have passed the memo along. Some people practice dry January. I practice Merlot Mondays.
How many fires have you lit this season?
Honestly, zero, shockingly, because the people that came to clean our chimney, which is apparently a thing you've got to do annually, and I hadn't done it in 8 years, they were like, this chimney is not fit for combustion. And I was like, you can go take a long walk off a short pier because I'm not paying you thousands of dollars to fix it. I will continue to have fires in my fireplace.
We got ours reviewed and it was like $350. And then they went in there and they said, "Oh, if you want to like light fire safely, you'll pay us another $1,000." And I was just like, "Leave my house. Leave my
Yep.
house before I light the fire."
Never come back. Yep.
Not like you need fires in Texas.
We're getting a cold front next week. So you know what?
Oh, how cold's it gonna be?
Probably in the
40.
30s. I'm gonna have to save my palms. I'm gonna have to put blankets over them.
Oh my God. It was 7 degrees here today. Okay. So I don't want to hear about it.
Oh wow.
So you're wearing like Jimmy Buffett tank tops while Devin and I are bundled up over here.
Actually, this is almost too hot. I'm burning up.
Hi, I'm Dev, the oldest.
I'm Trey, the middle child.
And I'm Nick, the youngest.
Must like boys.
Like or like?
Oh, he's already interrupting.
I finally saw Zootopia 2. and I loved it so much more than I thought I would.
Right?
Right? Isn't it great?
Like, that had some adult themes in it. Like,
Right?
I mean, it was about, racism, immigration, bigotry, even like First Nation people. Like, it was touched
brought
on a
it.
lot.
It now, I think, passed $1.7 billion, which is the most successful animated film of all time, question mark, is what I read.
Damn.
A lot. Oh, also, I have so you don't have to gay shame me. I finished Heated Rivalry.
Yeah.
It was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it a lot.
Good.
Well, this episode's exciting because we have a guest on. He's waiting on the line. His name's Jerome Evans. He's one of our great friends. I will give an intro a little bit later, but he is joining from Minneapolis to talk about recent events.
Wait, before we get into it, Nick, I have been listening to Applebee, your music recommendation, but I have to say Applebee needs to hire Taylor Swift's SEO team because when I asked my Spotify in the car, when I was like, play music by Applebee, it started, do you know what I'm going to say?
It like an Applebee's jingle?
No, the country song that's like, and we're fancy like Applebee's on a date night. Do you know that? Okay.
I don't
This
think I
is
know
not
that
the right
song.
demographic, but there's a country song that features Applebee's on a date night as like the main chorus. And that's the song that started playing. I was like, no, I want Applebee, the artist Applebee.
It's definitely, it's a hard name.
I don't know why I just expected like, I want my baby back ribs. Just come on.
It's Chili's.
I know. Nick, I
think it's his last name.
It's very, very good.
Well,
yeah. What are our topics? Do we want to preview topics for this week?
What's your working title of your topic?
Hygge, which is a Danish word. You're giving me blank stares. It is a Danish concept of
suddenly
coziness.
You think we speak Danish.
Oh, I actually do know that word.
Oh, I thought that was.
I actually have heard of that.
I didn't know that's how you pronounced it.
Yeah, it's Hygge, which does not look like you would pronounce it Hygge, but according to the internet, it's pronounced Hygge.
Okay, my working title is Where the Fuck is Erin Brockovich?
God, I love that movie and that woman.
All right, let's do
Hygge.
Let's do Hygge then Erin.
Okay, so then I can guess from that this podcast is going to start light and fluffy and get progressively darker and grittier as we go on. Yeah? Fair to say?
There's always a light at the end.
Unless you want me to start and do we want a Hygge sandwich?
I don't know. I mean, also, I'm actively drinking Merlot on this Merlot Monday, so maybe let me go first.
Okay.
This is a first.
Go for it.
Buckle up. So what I wanted to talk about was the Danish concept of coziness and contentment. And I read this book called, I think it's like The Little Book of Hygge a couple winters ago, just like bracing for the Midwest winter. I think Denmark and Indiana have a lot in common, and not just Indiana, but any state where the winters are long and dark and cold. Like Denmark gets as little as 7 hours of daylight in the winter, which is crazy. And it's cold and gray. And so most of that time is obviously spent indoors. So the Danish culture has this concept, which is all about instead of escaping winter, it's about embracing winter. And a couple of the tips that I picked up from that book that I've tried to like put into play in the winters here. The first is light is precious. So they're all about soft lighting. So think like soft lighting, twinkle
Them and the
lights, fairy
gays.
lights.
Yeah,
Yes, like
we already know that.
lots of candles, right? Like Denmark has one of the highest per capita candle usages in the world. So yeah, fire in the fireplace. Fuck what the like code tells you. They tell you don't have a fire in your fireplace. I think you can still take that gamble. I think it's worth it for the atmosphere of a fire in the fireplace. I mean, I have fairy lights up in our kitchen. I think it started during COVID, and they're up all year round. Like I just
Wait,
incorporate them for every holiday.
you call them fairy lights?
Well, they're
Like
twinkle lights.
the little
Yeah.
tiny like wire like LED lights. Yeah, fairy lights.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
They call Christmas lights fairy lights here.
Oh.
Oh.
I guess it's, I don't know. They're the
Well,
same kind of, right?
My Christmas tree's up, and I don't think I have plans to take it down. So that's kind of very Hygge of me. How are we pronouncing it again?
Hygge, like the
Hygge.
name Hugh and then Ga at the end.
Hygge.
Hygge.
I mean, if anyone Danish is listening to this and want to correct us, please do, because it's nothing like three Americans just
Botching your
totally
word.
co-opting the concept. And then the second is this idea of home as a sanctuary. So people really investing in making their homes feel warm and safe and inviting and just like a refuge from the cold. So having a lot of like cozy socks and good smells and blankets. I definitely want a blanket in every room. I feel like it changes the vibe entirely. Simplicity instead of simulation. Sorry, simplicity instead of stimulation. So instead of like movies and video games and like fast-paced things, it's about like slowing down, having like a hot drink, doing a puzzle, doing board games.
I feel like knitting would work really well with this.
Exactly, like crafting, painting, like
Mm.
things that are, more intentional. The fourth tip is bringing the outdoors inside. So think like plants, wood grain, faux furs, like nature-inspired design, all things that kind of help you feel grounded in your space. And then the last one is permission to slow down. So I saw this thing on Instagram that said, "Do you really hate winter, or do you hate capitalism forcing you to be productive in a season that beckons you to rest?" And I thought that really hit the nail on the head. So, like Merlot Mondays, as I mentioned, is something that I started just with a couple neighbors. Each Monday in January, we're getting together and trying two different Merlots and like comparing them and filling out a little wine tasting sheet about like notes and what we like and what we don't like, just to like have some togetherness and being cozy indoors when it's really gross out. So,
Well, I think all of those things would
that.
be perfect in your future bookstore.
they would. Yes.
Mm.
That's my lifelong dream, is to have a bookstore.
Like, yeah, they would definitely have Merlot Mondays.
For sure.
I always had a dream of opening up a bar called Home. And you just say, "Welcome home, y'all," when people come in.
Oh, that.
And it would
kinda
just
like-
be like, it would kind of be like a big living room. And, you'd go there to like watch Drag Race or, the
Yeah.
latest Game of Thrones or something.
Because I know in Australia it doesn't get as bitterly cold as it does here, right? But when it's like 0 degrees, you don't want to like get together out at a restaurant. You want to be at somebody's house with like candlelight, and you can like take your shoes off and like curl up on the couch with a blanket and play a board game
Oh,
or
yeah.
something like it's that sense of it. And there was a quote that I think like summed it up so beautifully, which was, "Hygge turns hardship into an opportunity for comfort and connection." So also very fitting that this is, like I said, a Danish concept at a time when the buffoon that we call president will not leave Greenland and the Danish people alone. So I feel like we can't talk about a Danish cultural concept without acknowledging that. And I don't know if you live in Denmark or Greenland, I'm
We love
sorry. On
you.
behalf of Americans everywhere, we're sorry. And we love you.
Yeah. Keep Greenland, please.
Okay. I'm at the 5-minute mark. I'm done.
Okay. Is it my turn?
Yeah, I guess so. But I'm gonna take some of those things and think about them, Dev. Slow down. I feel like I actually, not to give myself credit, but probably 4 or 5 out of those 6 or 7, I do regularly. I think I need to probably like slow down and less screen time, more paint time is a nice reminder. I also don't think I knew that Denmark was that cold. I've never been there, but I've never really thought about their geography.
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea of slowing down in the winter. I often bring out my knitting when I just need to do something with my hands, and it helps just kind of slow me down and center my mind, and I love it.
Yeah, I did Legos yesterday for a long time, and it was very cathartic.
Alex got me Legos for Christmas, and it was my favorite gift.
Yeah.
I made a Lego wreath. Wreath?
That's cute.
Reef?
Yeah.
A reef?
Wreath?
Trey, you couldn't say that word for the life of you when you were in middle school.
I still don't know which one he's trying to say.
Do you remember there was
Christmas
a time I was
wreath.
driving in the car and I was like, it's wreath, and I got like really angry at you because you couldn't say it properly.
Yeah, I
do remember
still
that.
have trauma surrounding that. That's what older sisters are for, I
I'm
guess.
sorry, or you're welcome. I don't know.
So I've been seeing a lot of stories about cuts to the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA. So there is a new head that Trump appointed, Lee Zeldin, whose mission is to lower the cost of buying a car, heating a home, and running a business. Now, what's the problem there, you think, that the head of the EPA's new mission is that?
That has nothing to do with the environment.
It has nothing to do with the environment. So the Environmental Protection Agency, which was set up under Nixon to protect Americans from corporate pollution because there were rivers on fire back in the 60s, is now being basically gutted. So in 2024, there were new standards passed under the Biden administration to ban harmful chemicals from our drinking water, known as PFAS or PFAS, also known as forever chemicals, because they do not break down and they basically can stay in your body forever. And these can be, so like these chemicals can be found in anything from your non-stick cookware to waterproof clothing to cosmetics.
It's in the butter that I buy.
What?
But Betty bought some not better butter.
I mean,
What
it
kind
isn't
of
everything.
butter are you eating?
Yeah,
I don't
that
know.
shouldn't be intentional.
We like bought a huge pack of it at Costco and then we still eat it, but like we found out that it does have forever chemicals in it.
Yeah, because it's probably the packaging leaching
It's the
into
packaging.
the butter. It's the
Yeah. It's
packaging.
like
a lot of
that
packaging
butter
has it in
flavor
it.
lasts forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
Longest lasting butter flavor on the market.
So like while the health effects are still being researched, initial evidence shows that their exposure is linked to cancer, childhood development problems, reproductive health issues, and a wide range of health problems. They are called endocrine disruptors. So your body thinks that they are hormones when they're not, and you can have some pretty nasty problems. They are finding that at least 97% of Americans have it in their bodies. So basically everyone.
Wait,
and
but why
nearly
just
half of
Americans?
Americans, I mean, that's just what they've been studying, right?
Oh.
Because it's the EPA and we're looking at America.
Got
So nearly half of Americans have it in their drinking water. And so the EPA, this, wonderful new head, has terminated $15 million into funding for forever chemical research and has stated that the previous research done is unreliable. And so the ban that the Biden administration has put into effect has been delayed until 2031. Basically, they're going to try to rescind and reconsider current bans on chemicals. Now, some states are trying to pass bans of their own on these chemicals, but some of them don't care. Most of the red states. But all this to say, you should probably get a water filter because
Check.
the government really doesn't care what's in your water anymore.
Because we grew up, drinking RO water, I get on my friends, but specifically my boyfriend about it. Like, he's just chugging tap water all day. And I'm like, I don't know how much mercury is actually in the water you're drinking. And apparently neither does
Also,
the government.
RO water, for context, is reverse osmosis, which is like if you get a water filtration system installed in your house, that is usually one of the options is reverse osmosis, where it's like drip by drip purifying your water.
And that
And
does
they're kind
remove
of pricey,
these
but they are worth
chemicals.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, they are very pricey. So I'm going to link to a reel with different water filters for different price ranges. They have ones that fit into Brita filters. So the existing Brita filters do not filter out PFAS chemicals, but you can buy ones that fit into the Brita filter that you can use just the same. So I'll link those below.
That's all great for the short term, but what about when the water wars begin?
Oh, God. Next. I'm
What are
phoning
the
in
water
Jerome.
wars?
No.
We'll save that for another day. Do we need to have our guest join?
Nick, are there any last notes you want to say about your BPAFPIC water?
Nope. Just, Google your state laws, test your water, get a water filter.
I think dropping in the show notes is very helpful. So to give you guys a little quick background, we've known Jerome since 2008.
We were roommates.
Yeah, you were roommates. Nick lived in Jerome's house. So we've known him for 18 years now. Met in Atlanta. Jerome moved to, I know, like we're old.
Whoa.
Yeah. Jerome moved to Minneapolis in 2014. He's been an entrepreneur for as long as Nick, me and you can remember. He has flipped 2 houses and he owns another one that he rents out to tenants. He has a TV show and a podcast called Bottomless Coffee Media. It's dedicated
Which I've been on one of the episodes.
Oh, period.
So now we're trading podcasts.
Right? Yeah, the podcast and show is dedicated to celebrating people and their journeys. Each episode is uplifting and it's a feel-good experience. He is an executive director of One Voice Mixed Chorus in Minneapolis. On top of that, Jerome has also run for office in Minnesota. Basically don't really know what Jerome doesn't have his hands into. I think he's kind of like a Chad. There's a lot of hands in many jars. But on top of that, he is one of the most kind, caring people. He's the type of person that will Venmo me $20 out of nowhere. And it's like, get yourself a cocktail. Or when I moved into my house, he texted me and he was like, what do you need? I was like, I don't know. And then within 3 days, there was like a new Sonos speakers at my doorstep from him. So, on top of being smart, political, he's one of the best people that we know. And he's
also visited me in Australia before both of my siblings have.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, God. He's going to come on to talk about his experience in Minneapolis and the recent effects with ICE and how it shapes his community day to day. So we're excited to have him on. Hello.
How is everybody?
Oh man, you look so professional.
Hi.
Oh, are we recording?
We're rolling.
Are we? Oh,
I'm like, keep the compliments coming. I'd like all of this. Just into the mic, please. Into the mic.
Well, thank you for staying up past your bedtime to talk to us.
Thank you for acknowledging that.
It's so lovely to meet you.
I was wondering.
I've heard your name so many times over the last, 18 years? Trey just gave a little intro for you right before you joined. And I
Yes.
feel like it's a shame that we've never met in person.
I had the same thought. And I wonder if I owe you an apology because it was one time in Indianapolis. Trey and I went out and got really drunk. And I think he threw up in a cab.
No.
And
He said he had food poisoning.
I had
have food.
I had 2 to 2.5 drinks that night, Jerome. The salad gave me food poisoning.
okay. Okay, I can go with that.
Alan's fault.
We've never talked about it because it was like a blip, But then I was like, oh, what if he woke up the kids?
No, I do believe there was vomit on the carpet, but he cleaned it up like a good brother.
Like a champ.
Yep.
There you go. Good job, Trey.
Oh God. All right, Jerome, we're so excited to have you. Really quickly, I still follow Ellen DeGeneres for some reason, but she recently said that her last stand-up show, she purposely filmed it in Minneapolis because it's the quote unquote happiest city in the country. Is that something that is said, and I just have never heard of that before?
We don't say it, but people do say it about us. Usually people who are arriving in like August or September when everything is lovely. If you came now when it is 12 degrees outside,
Yeah.
Yeah, you got ice and ice.
ice and ice. We got
worst
too much
of it all.
ice, baby.
So I guess, should we get into what's happening in Minneapolis? Do you want to just give us a overview?
I think what I'm really grateful for is being here in this time when my city is going through so much, my state as well. I should set the time. It's January 19th, 2026. I don't usually like to date podcasts, but things are changing so quickly and things are so unstable that even in my like Instagram reels, most recently, I'm having to say, this is what's true today. This is what we're doing right now. This is what's important because it's a really fluid situation. Where I like to center myself and I like to really focus is on how people are being treated by the federal government as it is trying to enact its priorities. There's a lot of question about why they're in Minnesota, why they're in Minneapolis. Is this even like an efficient use of taxpayer dollars? Maybe further to the left, there's a question of whether deportations are good policy or if they're even like ethically good in general. But certainly everybody here in Minneapolis and Minnesota, I think, for the most part, we all believe that we have a right to protest policies and programs that we don't agree with. And I think like after COVID and after the murder of George Floyd, we all became really good at protests. If you watch the videos and stuff, like we're like more professional and more trained than some of the ICE agents that are there. Like there's discipline. Yeah.
Yeah, and let's be clear, like protesting when it's 11 degrees out is no joke, right? It's not like you're
Yes.
protesting in Miami. Like this is
Correct. Absolutely correct.
I heard that they brought in the National Guard from Alaska because they're trained in colder weather.
As
Did you
of
hear anything?
January 19th, at this particular time, they're on standby.
Yeah.
I believe there are 1,500 paratroopers who train in Alaska. I don't know why they need to be paratroopers. I don't know where they're going to parachute into.
Who are they shooting?
seems
Yeah, what
unnecessary
is
to
like?
me.
Wait, Jerome, so are there like in your everyday life, like you'll pass active protesting or like what does
yeah.
that kind of look like for you?
Okay. So I work from home or hybrid. I prefer working from home because it's 11 degrees outside. If I need to go to the office and see staff, I will pass from Minneapolis into St. Paul. And I will pass a number of protests along my route to my office, maybe 3 or 4. And it'll be people standing at the corner. They usually take up all corners of an intersection. They'll have signs. I honk, in support. But it's not like with the George Floyd protests where we wanted to stop everything that was happening in the city. I think the vibe there was that this is an internal problem that we need to solve and everybody needs to stop what they're doing until we all come together and solve this problem. Now it feels more like there's an outside aggressor. And the vibe is that we need to close ranks and support each other through a really troubled time. But the vibe of the outside aggressor is very confusing when that aggressor is the federal government that we pay taxes to. And so it feels wildly inappropriate.
Yeah, that has immunity
Well-
from being prosecuted in your state, right?
No. I will say we are living in a time where there appear to be multiple sources of truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is something I've kind of been wrestling with. Like, how can I, as a media person, help translate like outrage online into like durable political activism and durable political change? But people will hear the vice president of the United States stand up and say something that doesn't make any sense. I don't know if this was in the intro. I have a Juris Doctorate. Like, I went to the University of Georgia. I studied the various types of immunity. Like, no one has any. This absolute immunity is like a phrase from a video
Yeah.
game.
I remember when that doesn't mean anything. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, qualified immunity does exist, but really only under certain circumstances. And you would expect in something that's caused so much outrage for there to be an investigation. And it doesn't look like the federal government is interested in conducting an investigation of that killing on their own, or in allowing the state of Minnesota to have the evidence that it needs in order to conduct its own investigation. Because if a state law was violated, then the state could certainly bring charges. Phew.
This is kind of a niche question, but
Sure, let's go deep.
I'm interested. I've volunteered previously in a couple roles working with refugee populations, and I know that a lot of the rhetoric has been around kind of targeting the Somali refugee population in Minneapolis, and that is like a rather large population there. And it breaks my heart in a lot of different ways, in part because I know that any refugee population is one that has overcome significant trauma and is looking to rebuild and have a safe, fresh new start. I guess it's not a question so much as it's just like a statement, and like I'm curious if like anything locally you've heard surrounding that.
The targeting of the Somali population here seems very strange. Like, I understand the right being xenophobic. It kind of echoes the Islamophobia of 2001. Many of my Somali neighbors in the city have been here for a long time, like generations. And so I think the count of maybe undocumented Somali people, or even Somali people who might be here on visas, I'm not sure, but it's a low number. It's like 750. Not enough to justify the type of presence that we're seeing here from ICE.
Is that is the justification why ICE is there, because of the Somali
That's
population?
one of them.
Okay.
I think in general, Trump was elected with a mandate to do something about immigrants in the country. I think that there was weakness in Minnesota after some fraud allegations came to light. I will say the fraud took place years and years ago, has been investigated, and like the mastermind of like the Feeding Our Future enterprise was convicted and is a white woman. I will say some fraudsters of Somali descent did benefit, but they are being actively prosecuted. I don't think all of the fraud in Minnesota has been discovered, but in a weird, twisted, almost comedic turn of events, after the killing of Renee Good, the federal government apparently did not want to investigate the officer, but they wanted to investigate the widow.
This makes me so
And
angry.
it makes me angry too, but
Yeah.
I think doubly so because the attorney who was investigating the fraud resigned in protest over his desire to not, in my opinion, carry through that miscarriage of justice. So
What does that mean? Because there was like
annoyed.
six people that resigned in protest. Like, what does that mean when they resign in protest? Does that mean they're just going to put someone else in there that's going to do what they want? Or I don't know if you know the answer.
I have never resigned in protest, or I would say came in to take someone else's job who did resign in protest. But I have been like a new employee in an organization. And I think typically there are like documents on what your predecessor was working on. There's like a thought exchange of some kind that goes by, so where you know where people's heads are at and you can carry on the work. I think these resignations, especially to have 6, I believe you said it was 6 at one time, is
something
just
around
really disruptive to not just these investigations that we know about, but also whatever work they were doing that was maybe not as newsworthy, but was still very impactful. So I think that's unfortunate.
What like side are they on? Or is it both? Is it like they just don't want the heat of whatever role is at their feet? Like I don't understand why 6 people then resigned after this.
They're on the side of
Good?
like good. Yeah. I mean, yeah, on the side of like reality, you know.
Why would they resign?
They resigned because they were told by the federal government to prosecute the wife of the person
Investigate.
who died.
Yeah, to
So
investigate.
investigate the
Renee Good's
wife
wife.
of Renee Good's wife, who was in the car with her, basically
Understood.
saying it was their fault that she died, and that
Understood.
it's the wife's fault, or it could be the wife's fault, or like instead of prosecuting the person that shot her, or investigating,
Okay.
the person
And
who
called
shot her,
her a
and called
derogatory.
her a
Yes.
an effing bitch
We've-
or something.
We've
yeah.
gone from, victim blaming being maybe something that happens at brunch to it being something that the Department of Justice is trying to engage in. And so they weren't down for that.
Was protesting happening even when ICE just came in, and then it's gotten significantly worse after Renee Good, or
Yes.
okay.
Yes. Minnesota is very diverse. In general, Minneapolis is very diverse. Rural Minnesota is like 80% white, but our population is on like a decline. So I happen to have had conversations with the state demographer, and we have something called the silver tsunami, where our population is getting really old. Everyone's got gray hair now, and their kids and grandkids are moving to, I don't know, Chicago or Indianapolis or somewhere warm.
They're coming to
In order
Austin,
to keep
babe.
up our workforce, we've been like training and educating and relying on an immigrant population who wants to come here. And so the Twin Cities in particular are very diverse. And I politically considered myself to be like a pretty left Democrat, but that's on a national scale. In Minneapolis, I'm considered to be a moderate. Like they're left people here. And they don't like deportations at all. And they don't really care what the law says. They really care about what in their view is a matter of right and wrong, like breaking up families, etc. And the way that ICE was conducting themselves just further exacerbated that situation.
Yeah.
Because they were already behaving in a way that I found to be like reprehensible before the killing of Renee Good.
Yeah.
I just listened to a really interesting interview the New York Times did with, I think it was the Minneapolis police chief. And he was talking
Right.
about like how much the police force has worked to repair and heal relations with citizens
Yeah.
since 2020, and how much damage ICE is kind of doing in recent months and backtracking.
Absolutely. Like from where I live, right down the street, protesters blew up a gas station.
Jeez.
Like I walk to the corner, I can point to it. I would say a couple of miles away, they burned down the 3rd precinct. It has not been rebuilt. That is still an ongoing conversation in the city, and here we are in 2026. That said, staffing at the police department is up. It's probably not where it needs to be to get crime back to the level where like the old people here remember it being way back in the day. And certainly that like community trust is not really there.
Yeah. Is there, with the federal police, ICE agents there, do people trust the local police at all?
The phrase we all dance around here is civil war. And our mayor and our governor have my view, a responsibility to make sure that state and local police do not like start exchanging fire with federal agents. Then things escalate very quickly. And so I believe the National Guard have been on standby. I don't think that they've been deployed into the cities or anything. Again, January 19th. The police are present. I don't know what orders they've been given. But again, these police know how to manage protests. They got 5 good years in it, I would say. And they came after, in many cases, many of them came after the George Floyd protests and were trained for such an occasion. So, like, I trust them to behave professionally. I can't say the same of these ICE agents.
Yeah, definitely. Do you know why Tim Walz is stepping down?
Yeah.
Like, can he just stay on forever,
this is a
please?
very heavy
I'm
20
so
minutes
sorry.
of
We don't- never
podcasting.
mind.
But it's
We
okay.
can
I'm
skip
drinking
this
wine
episode.
through this because that's
Yeah.
the only way. I usually
I should have
don't.
known.
Just for the record, I usually don't drink wine on this podcast, but today I am.
It's a good one. It's a good one. If you'll go back to before the deportations, we had an assassination. The assassination of Melissa Hortman took place in, I want to say, June-ish of 2025, maybe July.
But her husband also, right?
Also her husband, yes. But she was the co-speaker of the House in the Minnesota House of Representatives and widely seen as one of the next people to be in line to be governor, like very close friends with Tim Walz. And so I believe he and his family have been getting death threats. Third term is pretty tough in general. He can make more money in other places. And I have to feel as though he feels a lot of personal responsibility for some of the things that are happening in the country. Because, when you're on the ticket as vice president and you lose, you have to go to bed thinking, wow, this would not have been happening if I had done this, that, or the other thing. And so I have to imagine that weight would make you want to rethink your choices. And then his wife, Gwen, who is really, really cool, certainly has a lot of sway over his decisions. And she's probably like, fuck this, just get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if someone else got murdered that would scare me.
Yeah.
I feel like to end this maybe on a positive note, like
good luck.
Go ahead and turn that Titanic. Do it. Let's see you do it.
I think my question would be like, what things have you seen through friends of friends or just in the community, like kind of have sparked good motions since all of this? Like, are people coming together?
Yeah.
Have you heard of things that have been happening?
Absolutely. There's so much good happening. In fact, it really feels like we could be living in a deeply, deeply oppressive state, right? Like, look, I'm a Black gay man in America. I have had my fair share of oppression at the hands of the United States of America. People are still smiling. People are still having a good time. People were in like a cardboard sled down a hill on the ice situation at the park. This is really just like another thing we have to deal with. Everyone is coming together. We are definitely closing ranks in this situation. People are still smiling. People are having a good time. People are sledding. People are making their own fun in winter, which is it's a tough winter to get through. It's somehow colder and snowier than most winters. And I think we all have a distinct sense that we're in this together and that we're holding the line. I think I read in an article somewhere that was like, if Minnesota and Minneapolis cave on civil liberties, and other places are going to cave right after. So I don't get any sense when I'm at the grocery store, when I'm at the coffee shop, when I'm at work. I don't get any sense that we are going to back down no matter what happens. Come what may. And that fills me with a lot of joy, frankly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the cold winter is just reflective of the times.
But spring will come.
Spring
Don't worry.
will come. Yes, you're right.
Amen. So our last segment is usually rapid fire. Any advice that you would like to give listeners? And since Nick had to duck out early for a work commitment, I guess, Trey, that puts you back on the line if you want to fill in any unsolicited advice for him.
Well, I'm gonna go last.
All right, Jerome, do you
I can go.
to start? What's
Yeah.
unsolicited
Prepared.
this week?
Well, I just did a reel on this. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's at Jerome T. Evans.
Yeah.
And I think there are a lot of people outside of the state who don't know what to do in this time, you can talk to your local representative to support. Like there are funding bills that are being discussed, that are actions that can be taken. Don't just sit and admire the problem. Do something about it. Every little thing helps. Just do something about it.
Good advice.
Respect.
My advice following that seems very trivial. I'm embarrassed. But Jerome, for context, my topic this week was about the Danish concept of hygge, of like cozy,
Yeah.
sort of how to survive winter. So along those lines, my advice is organize a puzzle swap in your community. The town where I live does an annual puzzle swap in January where everyone brings a puzzle and donates, and they give you a coupon, and then 2 weeks later you come back and you get to pick up a new puzzle. So I love that. I think it's like such a just sweet like community moment and gives you a puzzle to get you through the cold winters. So if you don't have a puzzle swap in your community, then you can organize one with your friends. And that's your weekly advice from your 65-year-old best friend.
Love that.
Well, my advice would be I woke up today in like a really shit mood with a lot of anxiety and some depression sprinkled in there. And I chose to proactively go on a run. And I think, yes, running is probably a lot harder when it is 11 degrees versus an Austin 60 that it was here today. But
Yeah. Oh, good for
my
you.
advice is like running is free and it is somewhat pretty accessible to, I would say, most people that are capable of moving their body in that way. But it just really put things on a different perspective, and I always come out of it feeling completely different, and the endorphins that it releases is just always so nice. And so whether it's a run around the block or if it's a mile or if it's 4, it's like get out and just fucking do it, and your body will thank you, and I think your mind will thank you as well. So
Or
Yeah.
if you can't run, dance, which is my preferred method of
Hey.
exercise. Just turn on 10 minutes of music or an hour of music and dance, and it has the same effect. So,
does Merlot
yay.
Monday
Oh, that's
also have the
wonderful.
same effect?
Yes, it turns out Merlot Monday and a Zumba class have the same effect, which is you feel a little bit less shitty about the state of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Jerome, we love you. Seriously, thank you for coming on. We appreciate you and your time and all of your
Thank you.
I'm
wisdom.
also doing the heart, but you can't see it.
We've lost
Thank
you. Dropping like flies around here.
Thank you for having me. It was really my pleasure. Really enjoyable. I'm happy to come back at any time.
All right. I love you. I'll
Love
say next
you.
line. Peace out.
Music by Moer. Editing and design by Treehouse.